Hi, it's Wednesday, February 26th, and we have two systems to talk about in the tropics today. We have severe tropical storm Garance here east of Madagascar. This is likely to intensify into an intense tropical cyclone before passing Mauritius and La Reunion in a couple of days. And we've also got newly named Tropical Storm Honde here in the Mozambique Channel, also likely to become a cyclone before moving closer to Madagascar, and the system could bring significant flooding issues to southern Madagascar as it stalls offshore. We're going to start off with Garance. Here's the system right now on infrared imagery, and you can see the system is still dealing with a pretty significant southerly shear this morning. We have a bunch of clouds being pushed directly into the storm from the south, and this is as an effect of Tropical Storm Hyundai further east, or sorry, further west. You can see all the thunderstorm activity blossoming here in the Mozambique Channel with that storm fueling an upper level high pressure system that's just shearing the system continuously from the south. And we can see the impact of this if we look at microwave imagery that we got a few hours ago. We can see curved convection uh, trying to wrap around into an eye. You can see maybe this is where the eye would be if it was able to wrap around, but because of this continued push of southerly shear, this convection has really not been able to wrap around into the southern and into the western side of the system's center. And this has been the case for over a day now. Now, over the next day, this is going to change pretty fast. You can see if we look at water vapor imagery again, we have an upper level low that's backing southwest, south of Mauritius and La Reunion. But also, if you pay attention north of Garance here, we have more curvature in the clouds now visible, likely showing that this system is building its own upper level high pressure system, which is going to act to fight against this other high pressure system by Hyundai. It's going to be interesting to watch this play out in real time, but you can see this happen in the forecast on the Haas model. This is about right now at the time of this recording. Here's that strong southerly shear, but we start to see that curvature increase on the northern side as we go throughout the day today. And we also see these blues decrease directly over the storm, highlighting how the system's high pressure system is going to be fighting to slow down the shear over the system from this other high pressure system developed by Hyundai. And as we go into the nighttime hours today, you can see now the system gets into a very low shear environment. This would be a rapid decrease in wind shear generally. And also we have very good divergence off to the north towards the equator. But alongside that, as that upper low that I mentioned continues to back southwest, it's going to get into a favorable position to help the system with a poleward outflow channel down to the south. You can see this one directed generally to the South Pole. This is now a dual outflow channel scenario and light shear and warm waters directly underneath of this. And this is the perfect recipe to get a strong cyclone out of a tropical system. And this is likely to happen. This is an agreement with most models that we have. You can see how this goes in the Haas model. This is a simulated radar imagery of what could happen over the next day. And you can see that by this afternoon into this evening, we still have this curved band structure that's still not wrapping around to the southern or western sides. But as that shear decreases, that convection is now able to wrap around. And by the overnight hours, this is now a completed eye wall structure that's been built by the storm. By this point, the system will be able to intensify likely unimpeded. You can see this red number here, the 986, begin to decrease rapidly. That's showing you that the system is intensifying to a very significant degree, and this is likely on this model an intense tropical cyclone by the time it reaches La Reunion on this forecast. Now, we have had a significant shift in the track west over the past couple of days. We were talking about first Mauritius potentially being in line for more direct impacts, but the shift in model guidance generally today has been west towards La Reunion. Though I don't want to underplay the impacts that you could get in Mauritius, you can still see that we do still get these outer bands impacting the island. This could have tornadoes, heavy rainfall, and also tropical storm force winds across the island. So you're likely not going to get out of the way of this storm completely without impacts, but certainly this would remove the strongest impacts from Mauritius and would unfortunately likely put this more into La Reunion. And you can see just how much the models have shifted over the day today in the GFS ensemble. And you can see here's Mauritius completely out of the way of most ensembles from the GFS. La Reunion is somewhere in here, just around the mean track. Now, we may see further shifts in this track over the next couple of days. It is certainly not fully locked in, and for Mauritius, you certainly still should be preparing for a cyclone. Don't just take your guard down completely because the trends today have been further west. They can easily come back east. But clearly, the messaging today is for La Réunion to be preparing for an intense tropical cyclone, and that's the current forecast now from Mateo, France. You can see expecting an intense tropical cyclone to come directly into the island sometime Thursday night into Friday, and this will likely be a significant hit for the island if it does really hit directly on the island. Now, the good news is here for the system and for La Réunion is if we do see a shift just to the west or just to the east of the island, the system is fairly compact. You can see that this range of, or the radius rather, of hurricane force winds or cyclone force winds is just about 100 kilometers. So if this does shift a little bit east or a little bit west, that could leave those strongest winds offshore of the island. But we cannot guarantee that, of course. Things can change, but we still need to be preparing for the worst here. You know, this old saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst here in La Réunion. And alongside this, we could also have some heavy rainfall, particularly in the high terrain of La Réunion, and that could, in some areas, exceed 400 or 500 millimeters of rainfall in those areas. But you can see as the system, after it passes through La Réunion, the system begins to weaken and will be passing south pretty quickly. So we're not looking at a system stalling around here. It will be a quick hit and done type system. So hopefully that can work to minimize the damage that we see from the system. But regardless, again, from Mauritius and La Réunion, be preparing for a cyclone and stay safe as the system does continue to come through. I'll have more videos as the system does continue tracking south. Well, we've also got Tropical Storm Honde further west. This is in the Mozambique Channel. Here's Madagascar, here's Mozambique, and this is a broad system, especially compared to Garance further east. This is a much broader tropical cyclone. This has some implications on how the system will be going as it tracks further southeast. The current expectation from most models is that the system will go through a phase of intensification over the next day or two as it tracks towards Madagascar. And then once it gets there, it's going to likely stall. And you can see why if we look at the GFS model showing you the upper level wind forecast. And you can see right now the system is in a general position to track southeast alongside with this jet stream that's further south of it. But as it comes further southeast, what Garance is going to do is it's going to kind of suppress the high pressure system that's being generated by Honde. So you can see by the time the system gets to southern Madagascar, this ridge is being suppressed, and now we're going to start getting easterly flow being pushed right into our storm. That's going to begin to stall the system out south of Madagascar. Now, there's going to be two things that's going to happen here. The system will likely begin to weaken because of its stalling. The water is not too warm here. It will likely upwell water very quickly and begin to weaken from that. But also, this will be increased shear impacting the system directly. So the system will begin to weaken as it stalls. But being such a broad system, it's likely going to have a broad influence of rainfall. And we're going to see a lot of heavy rainfall along this southern part of Madagascar as this system stalls out here. That's the issue, is that the system is likely to stall here as it comes south of Madagascar. You can see on the GFS rainfall forecast, this is over the next 7 days, a wide region of 500 millimeters of rainfall or more as the system stalls out. And this could lead to very significant flooding issues in the southwestern portion of Madagascar, alongside potential wind impacts. As the system is forecast to become a cyclone, you can see here on this forecast from Mateo, France, becoming a cyclone. It's possible that this system does come ashore for a brief time, so that could increase a wind threat on top of all the flooding issues that we'll likely have. But of course, the main thing here is going to be rainfall. And for anyone here in southern and southwestern Madagascar, you need to be preparing and listening to your local weather office, Mateo Madagascar, that is, for information on this as this progresses. I will leave a link to Mateo Madagascar's website at the top of the description, alongside Mateo France's website for cyclone forecasts. But certainly a significant system as well here for Madagascar in the rain department, though luckily it looks like the system will, in wind-wise, remain quite weak. That's all that I've got for today on both of these systems. I will have more videos throughout the week as these systems progress. Stay safe in Mauritius, La Reunion, and Madagascar as all these systems track your way. And I'll again leave links to weather offices that I can find for these islands at the top of the description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.